Welcome to Newhouse Light, episode 2. Today's discussion topic, it's fucking lab rats, man. And that's what we are when we play Counter-Strike nowadays. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of being tested on and fucked with, okay? So listen to me, Gaben. This is what you're gonna do. But no, seriously, I've been playing Counter-Strike quite a bit recently. You know, playing quite a bit for the past like 7 years of my life. And recently there's been a new update, which the first episode I specifically talked about most of the points that were brought with the update. I was prophetic, I was a genius. But I've been playing the 3 maps a lot. Like exclusively 괵, Jura, and Agency. And something very peculiar, along with the missions that are coming with it, something very peculiar became apparent to me, specifically with 괵 and Jura being that they're quite similar in how they're formatted, per se. Very peculiar feeling that there's like specific parts of the map that feel exactly, they play the same. They don't look the same, and the layout is somewhat different, but they play the same. And it got me thinking, they're trying to see what it takes, and this is where the lab rats come in, because they're testing on us. We're the science experiment. They're testing on us, and I don't like it. I want my operations back. We'll get to that. It all ties in beautifully. I wrote a long Twitter thread that took me like 5 hours to do about this, and I've already forgotten everything. The idea, the problem that they're facing, that Valve is facing, is trying to get people to play the new maps. Historically, for various reasons, some good, some bad. New maps, like after like the first 3 days, tend to kind of like die off. I remember back in CSGO, a lot of the times, new maps would come out. The first 3 days, it was really cool. And then, you know, sometimes it's like 10 minutes to find a match. And that's just, like, it just kills it. Because I like the new maps. I like playing new maps because I like Counter-Strike. And I don't play it to win. I play it to have fun because Counter-Strike is the best FPS game in the world. Probably ever will be. They'll never be able to match it. Valorant was the best chance. They flubbed it. So what they have to do is they have to convince people who are okay with playing, and if you play Premier, you know this is true. They have to try and convince people who are okay with playing the same 3 maps, be it like Mirage, Dust 2, and like and then their third favorite map. Like it's Dust 2, Mirage, and then their third favorite map. Their third favorite map is actually their favorite map. They just don't know how to play anything else besides Dust 2, Mirage. No one actually likes Dust 2. That's my theory. Nobody actually likes Dust 2 or Mirage. But we've all played it so much that we know it. And deviating from that is scary. And that's what it is. Is deviating from the common core maps is scary for people. And some people, I'll give an example of why I know that people are retarded and have a hard time. I was playing on 괵, and on A site, you know, like as a CT, so you're defending A site, and the guy was next to the tentacles, very kinkily standing there, and he got shot from the stairs that are directly in front of him. And like his viewpoint, I know where he was standing. Like his viewpoint from where he was standing was like, it's like looking at a wall with stairs. That's what he's looking at. And when he got shot from the stairs, he was like, I don't know where I got shot from. He was gonna call it out, which is good teamwork, but he didn't know what to say. But that's my point, is that like people are so locked into Mirage and Dust 2 that they don't actually know how to play Counter-Strike. They know how to play Dust 2 and Mirage, not Counter-Strike. I know how to play Counter-Strike because it's like he's stuttering over himself. Stairs. It's a fucking staircase. It's a fucking staircase. Play the game. Stop playing Dust 2. Stop playing Mirage and play the game. It's so beautiful. But that's the reason why they're doing this is because there are no more operations, and there never will be. The skinned armory pass is the new method of delivery. We talked about that last week. And this new update with the maps, I think, pretty much seals the door of CSGO's operations. Never another operation. You know, never say never, but we're never gonna get major stickers either. So like, you know, it's a sad state, and it's really sad. But what that means is that, you know, with operations, especially some of the older ones, it had like co-op missions is specifically what I'm thinking about being amazing, and that's what we are expecting. Like Counter-Strike is Source 2. Imagine the co-op missions. Imagine Danger Zone in Source 2. Never coming. Never happening. So the content we're gonna get is just gonna be skins and maps and one weekly mission forever. You know, maybe they'll add Nikes. I don't know, but so what they're doing is they're trying to convince you and me, and this is where the experiments and elaborate kind of come in. And like the Pavlovian hit you over the head with a baseball bat and then give you a cookie, and you'll say thank you because like I was eating a fucking hot foot sundae, and then you hit me over there with a baseball bat. But this cookie is better than a baseball bat, so I guess I'll take the cookie. And that's what this is. That's what these updates are. They're cookies. I want a fucking birthday cake, but instead I'm getting a cookie, and it's better than getting beat. The cookie is better than getting beat. And that's what the lack of content was for like the longest time. That was getting beat over the head. The cheater problem, which I'm not gonna say is not real. I think it's over exaggerated, like all things. People tend to take it to the extreme and use it as an excuse. Anything to not look inside at why you lost that gunfight. I get it, but we'll leave it at that. That was getting beat over the head with a stick. And now that we have Agency back, which is actually, honestly, is a great map, and I think they did it some very good justice with the remake or the remix or whatever you want to say. But now this is all kind of like surface level, but where I really think the conspiracy, the Counter-Strike 2 conspiracy, that's what we're gonna title this. Counter-Strike conspiracy / you're a fucking rat. We're all rats in here, baby. Is that 괵ᴜ and ⴬RA are the same map. They're the same map, and this is what the kind of core of my Twitter thread was that they are the same map. But ⴬RA is like well, first of all, they're both castle maps, which is very suspicious to begin with. But you wouldn't notice it because 괵ᴜ is so aesthetically different. Like the assets, the textures on the walls, I wouldn't go as far to say Overwatch per se, but it's very cartoonish and animated compared to a standard, Inferno or Mirage. But ⴬RA is a castle map, and it is a standard. Like it's one of the three quintessential Counter-Strike maps. There's the castle, there's the building, there's like the castle industrial. Those are your two choices for a classic map, pretty much. And this one, ⴬RA does the castle one amazingly well. But it isn't a classic map in how it actually plays. It's a 3-lane map as far as I'm kind of concerned. I don't know, maybe it's like an arena thing. But starting from T side, which I'll put up stuff on the screen to illustrate my point. Starting from T spawn, there's a long hallway which deviates to mid, and this is very reminiscent of Overpass, like long Overpass, but it's different because Overpass is almost a 4-lane. I would almost go as far as say it's a 3.5 lane, but like ⴬RA really is a 3-lane, which is like a horizontal connector. It's like horizontal, whatever. I'm getting lost in the weeds here. It just plays very uniquely, and it's not really like the gunfight. It's a gunfight. It's a gunfight. You're having these gunfights, but the farthest lane that you go to get to the site is very isolated. It's very narrow, even though it's like a big open field and like it's a castle. It's a big castle, but like that specific lane feels very claustrophobic almost, and it's weird because like the front lines like collapse in on themselves almost. Like you hold the door and then you get pushed back and then you hold that like that little wall. It's very weird. But that same exact the reason why it's conspiracy is because that same exact feeling is felt on Grail, but just exaggerated. And that's why that was like the first thing that tipped me off to like this conspiracy, was that they are the same map. They were chosen specifically because what they're trying to do, in my opinion, and I'm right, is they're trying to coerce the player base into playing maps that are different. Because we know, as we've stated, that the only real content we're going to be getting consistently for the foreseeable future is just map drops. Like every 6 months, every 9 months, every 3 months, whatever, we're going to get new maps, 3 new maps, 2 new maps, something like that. But if all you can do is classic CS maps in order to like replace it, because it doesn't matter if you add a map. Like if you add a new map and nobody plays it, you might as well have not added that map. And that's where this is kind of coming all together here. Sorry, I don't do this very often, so I gotta really think here. So what they're doing is they're trying to increase the pool of which they can pull from to add maps, community maps specifically. So they don't even have to make the maps themselves, and that's what the 3 maps do in terms of science experiment. Is Agency is the control. It's a good map that people love for whatever reason. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying I don't know why, but Agency is loved. It's a good hostage map. the only good hostage map that I've ever played officially. And then ᴬᴱ is aesthetically just like Cobblestone, basically, which is probably not probably one of the reasons why it was picked. But when you actually get down to playing it, it has a distinct and unique feel, especially with the bomb sites being like stacked and like layered. It's very unique when you actually play it, but you wouldn't really recognize it because, you know, the truth is all gunfights are gunfights, and it's like 30 seconds you know the angles of most spots. Like it isn't hard. And this goes back to people know how to play Mirage, not Counter-Strike. People don't know how to play Counter-Strike. I know how to play Counter-Strike because I play all the maps all the time. So I have like this wide base. Anyways, I'm very humble. I mean, I'm just telling the truth. I'm telling how it is. But that's what ⴬ᴱ is. Is this like, it's like a frog in boiling water, you know, where they turn it up. Agency is getting you in the water. ⴬ᴱ is them turning it up to like a warm bath, and then Grail is them cranking it up to kill you. And that's why the missions, especially the first week mission, was for Grail. And if I remember correctly, there was 2 subsets of the mission, which was win 7 rounds and then win 12 rounds, I believe, something like that. But it's very suspicious because, especially like 7 rounds, you can win 1 game and then be done with that. But maybe you don't win, so maybe you have to play 2 games. But to win 12 rounds means you have to win the game outright. And that might take 3 times. And I think for me it took 3 games to finally get the mission done. And that's probably seems on the surface level somewhat nothing, you know, it's just random, right? But that's connect dots that aren't there to see the truth that's hidden. Put that on a t-shirt. What that's doing is giving them, they want to see how much it takes for you, specifically you, the person who only plays Mirage, to break the ice, condition you, basically. Because Grail is, like, the immediate impression of Grail, and I'm sorry if this is a bit schizophrenic. I am a bit schizophrenic. Also autistic. Grail is immediately an outcast. So he brings cookies along to entice you, to rape you. He brings cookies along to get you to sit with him at the lunch table. And what he wants is he wants to give you as little cookies as possible. That's what 괵 is he's a stingy bastard who smells weird and looks weird, but he wants you. So he's gonna give you what you want, but he wants to give you as little as possible. And that's what those missions were for, was for Valve to see what it takes to get somebody to queue for a map that's out of their comfort zone, or to at least add it to their pool. And that's, I think Valve is, and I said this last time, but I'll say it again. I don't think Valve's stupid, and I don't think they're apathetic. I think there's like 10 guys working on Counter-Strike, and they're all like 160 IQ, sifting, if they have AI, sifting through like billions of points of data. I wouldn't be surprised if the missions were handed out specifically to people based on their profile. Because we already kind of know that, because of the trust factor. I don't know if that's still a thing or not, but because of trust factor, we know that they tie your Steam profile in with your Counter-Strike data. And I would imagine that means everything. So they and you know, like, everybody knows everything about everything now with data and like cookies and AI sifting through that garbage. But I wouldn't be surprised if you if you got 12 missions to beat 괵. I wouldn't be surprised if they think you're easier. I want to say easier to get to break the ice. Or it's either that, or they think they know that you're gonna play it. Like, I got 12, but I think they know, like, they know that they should know that I would play it. I love playing new maps. And then I play new maps a bunch, and then I go back to playing only Inferno, because I am just as bad as people play Mirage only, but with Inferno, so it's weird. And people laugh at me for it, with my 100 wins on Inferno, but and like 5 on Mirage or something stupid like that. But if on seven missions, 7 rounds to win, and again, I'm new to this, so forgive my stuttering. 7 missions, 7 rounds to win 900 XP is not a lot. So if you are a Counter-Strike player who only plays Mirage, that's pretty easy, and that gets you into it. Because we also have to remember that the more than anything, they want playtime. Because you play longer, you spend more money. That's just kind of how it works. Yeah, I bet that is a lot of it. Because if you Premiere is Premiere, and that's completely different. Not talking about that matchmaking. Let's say you queue Mirage, Dust 2, a little bit of Vertigo sometimes, Overpass. Let's just say you queue 4 maps, right? And like, those are the only maps you really want to play. So you queue like three like Dust 2, Mirage play very similar. Overarching, they're not very similar on like specific corners and stuff, but the overall feeling, because they're both fucking sand maps, so the overall feeling is the same. Overpass, you know, it's gray. Inferno is like tan. All these maps are very washed out colors. 괵 is very colorful, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're kind of thinking, if they can add a colorful map into your map pool, then you'll play 4 games instead of 3, or 5 games instead of 4, because it'll break it up and like help delineate time. Help make you feel less drained after you play Counter-Strike for 3 hours. That's what it is. They're trying to like hook you up to a goon machine and fucking suck you dry, and they're like, stop, don't, and they're trying to get you to like 4 hours edging instead of 3.5, because if you play for 4 hours, you'll open up a case or something. I don't know. That might be a bit of a stretch, but that's what we're here for. We're discussing the things that nobody else gives a fuck about, because what else am I gonna do? And that's I hope that makes sense. That's the Counter-Strike conspiracy. That's the lab rat. We're lab rats in Gaben's maze. It fucking sucks, because there's nothing we can do. I don't want to be blackpilling. This is when the lights turn, like everything turns black, and zoom in, and like there's nothing we can do. But there is something we can do, because I'm not playing Valorant, so you can suck my cock, okay? I'm not playing Rainbow Six Siege. I'm playing Counter-Strike. So as long as they don't fuck it up, and even if they do fuck it up, like It's so crazy. They're oh my god. And I talked about this last week too. The R8 revolver. They fucked that up so bad. Like tremendously in many different ways. You could shoot your teammates like off of spawn, like in the warm up with the right click, which like that's, I don't know. You need more playtesters, I guess. But it was so broken. They fucked it. Like there is no conceivable or definable way to explain the first week of the R8 revolver besides fundamentally, irredeemably, and irrevocably broken. And it was great. It was amazing. It was some of the most fun anybody's ever had in Counter-Strike. And I think that's why Counter-Strike is the way it is and why it's so great, is because sometimes it is so bland that when they do something, like they can break it and it's great. Because the bland, it's like Honey Nut Cheerios, okay? It's not Fruit Loops. It doesn't have marshmallows in it all the time. You know, the operations is a bowl of Fruit Loops or a bowl of Lucky Charms. But like, it's the game itself, the fundamentals of Counter-Strike is a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios with some milk in it. And you know, you could pour a little sugar on there with some gambling and that's a-okay. But that's the beauty of, that's what Counter-Strike is it's like a nice breakfast cereal. And then every once in a while your mom fucking buys, I don't even know what to compare the R8 revolver to. And it's so terrible that it's great. And then because you go back to Honey Nut, you go back to the nut, and it's fine. But that's also a double-edged sword because your mom knows you love nuts, Honey Nuts so much. She's not gonna buy you fucking Cocoa Puffs. She's not gonna get you Lucky Charms more than she needs to. More than that one time. In fact, she knows that you're content with Honey Nut Cheerios so much so that she's going to go out of her way to get you as little other cereals as possible, and perhaps even, you know, ration out desserts after supper because fuck you, because she's a woman and women suck. But that's where we're at. That's the state of Counter-Strike. Is a bowl of Lucky Charms, a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios forever. And like I said before with the Pavlovian, it's better than eating bran flakes. So you'll take it. I'll take it. I'm not going to stop playing the game. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Stop playing Counter-Strike. Boycott Counter-Strike. Boycott TF2. Boycott it. See what the fuck happens. Nothing. That's a shame too. But I guess as long as they don't fuck up the fundamentals, it's not too big of a deal. Then that's the Counter-Strike Conspiracy 24-minute podcast. I don't think so. We can talk a little bit long. We can talk a little bit longer. I don't even know. I'm so fucking far gone, man. One thing and I talked about this last week, and I've been thinking about this consistently. How to like make Counter-Strike better without operations. And one thing that strikes me as odd through this whole endeavor is the lack of new weapons, or at least one weapon. I thought for sure with the new loadout system limiting you to your like, you don't have the wheel anymore, so you have to like pick between guns, which is silly. But I thought for sure with that they'd add a new gun by now. But now that I think about it, like I said out loud, I think it's also part of the Pavlovian thing where they just hit you over the head with a stick and get rid of your ability to have an auto for that one in a blue moon fun time. You know, like I loved having the auto available for buying for like that one in a blue moon goof time, because I mean I never liked using that gun, but or the M249. Like sometimes you want to buy M249 and staccato fire through the smokes on a banana. Sometimes you want to do that, but I don't want to give up my XM for when I feel like being mad, or when I am mad and feel like making other people mad. But that might just be what the new menu system is a way of like creating the limit, creating like artificial scarcity with your loadout. So that way when you switch guns around, it feels something like getting a new weapon without getting a new weapon. Although there's no treat here. There's no treat. They're just getting hit in the head with a stick. So that's pretty cool, I guess. Thanks, Gaben. My head hurts. Please stop. But seriously though, like they should add a new gun. And this is purely from someone who just plays matchmaking. No premiere, nothing at all. Or at least not yet. I'm gonna start streaming some premieres on Saturdays. Check that out. Subscribe. But as someone who just wants Counter-Strike to be fun to play, like as fun as possible, as much of the time, they should add like a new gun, like an AK. Like I don't know what though. Like an AK variant. Should they add an AK variant? And that's where we get into the problem, and that's why I kind of understand why they're hesitant, apparently, to do it. Is they don't. I don't know what you would do. I don't know what you would add. What would you add? Tell me in the comments below. What would you add? What gun would you add? And what would you place it? Because an AK variant, like it would just be like the M4A1S versus M4A4, where like one like there's a few points of data that you can change without like breaking the game, and that's ammo capacity and like fire rate. And I guess you could. I guess the biggest thing is they could give you a suppressed weapon on T side. But I think for most players, the suppressed nature of the M4A1S was not the reason why they chose it. So besides the novelty, I don't even think that would be good. I mean, they could add like a new starter pistol for Ts to make it more like mid to long range, like the USP. But that would change the meta. And like I feel like it would like mush. It would make the Ts too much like CTs. Right now where we're at, there is a distinct nature between CT and T, and I think that does lend itself and gives it. That is something that I don't think people don't think about, but that's probably a big reason why Counter-Strike is better than Valorant. Like objectively, is because there's like a distinct difference in T versus obviously planting the bomb, defusing the bomb. Those are like two sides of the same coin, while like CT's a gold coin and T's like a 50-cent coin. Like they're both like $1. Like they're both. Well, I guess a gold coin's a gold coin, but you know what I'm saying though. Like they're very different feeling, and you know, I guess you probably say the T's at the gold coin because of the AK-47. But the point with that distinction withstanding. I think that's a big part of what makes Counter-Strike great, and why other games are hesitant, like don't do that per se, is because it does create a bit of an imbalance. Like Counter-Strike is, because of the AK, for most games you and I are gonna play, it's like 55-45. The Ts are always gonna be like 5% in better standing than you, just because of the AK. Just because of the power of the AK. And other games like Valorant, they try and like even the odds as much as possible. They try and make anybody who plays the game be able to be as good as possible. Like that's why like Brimstone, like with his, I have played Valorant, hands up, don't shoot. You know, using his little fucking iPad thing, dropping smokes, super gay. And it's because anybody can do it. And it loses its value. Like the smoke grenade loses its value. Obviously, in the moment of the gunfight, like you're playing in the gunfight, that's pretty. Like smoke is a smoke. But watching, like even in game, watching other people play in a 1v3 situation, and you watch Brimstone like touch his iPad and 3 smokes drop down, that means fucking it's boring. Fucking die already, okay? I gotta buy my operator. We're getting off topic here. I don't even know what the topic was. The point is that we're all lab rats in the maze of hell, and Gaben is a scientist with a block of cheese, and he's not giving it to us. He has it there. He has the cheese, man. Gaben has the cheese, and he's not giving it to us, and there's nothing we can do about it. So buckle up and play Counter-Strike anyways, because what the fuck are you gonna do on a Tuesday night? They won. That's the black pill of the episode. They won. They won fair and square. It's over. Dude, my hair, what the fuck? My hair is so long, but it's also like not long. So it, man, you tell me. Tell me what you're, if you're watching this far, subscribe. Weekly episodes, lots of funny moments coming around the corner. Tier lists, live streams, Instagram, Twitter, fucking, I don't even know what else. My asshole, OnlyFans, gaping. What else do you need from me? I have everything you need. I have. Links in the description.